Hey folks, this is Riker with the Diablo 2 Resurrected Amazon leveling guide. This video will cover the gear and the skills that you'll want to go for while leveling up your Amazon through normal, nightmare, and hell difficulty. And by the end, you're going to have a level 75 Amazon ready to move on to an end game build and end game farming. This guide is brought to you in collaboration with Diablo 2 expert Toioiz, and you can reference his written guide on maxroll.gg, link in the description. This leveling journey will start you off just a bit wielding a javelin before moving on to becoming a Boazon for a while until you respec and become a Javazon once more. So diving in, you've created your Amazon. You've run out into the Blood Moor. You've killed a few zombies, a few quill rats, you have leveled up. Where do you allocate your skill point and your attribute points? For your attributes, until level 11, everything goes into vitality. More health keeps us alive. For your skills, from levels 2 to 5, you're putting your points into Fire Arrow, with your extra skill point from clearing the Den of Evil going into Magic Arrow. These skills, however, are just going to serve as prerequisites and synergies for Exploding Arrow, which you're going to unlock later on. For now, you're not using a bow. You'll be throwing your javelin as your main attack until level 6. Now, as you're playing, pick up and keep any rubies you find. And if you're lucky enough to encounter a gem shrine, then hold off. Don't just click it. I know it's tempting, but keep a ruby in your inventory if you have one. And double check that the only gem in your inventory is a ruby. Then click on the gem shrine. This will upgrade your ruby. If you have no gem in your inventory, this will drop a random gem. If you have multiple gems in your inventory, it's going to upgrade a random gem. But we want rubies. Once you hit level 6, and all the way until level 10, put your points into Poison Javelin. This skill creates a line of poison clouds that linger in the air, and you want to aim these so that enemies, while approaching you, are going to walk through and get poisoned. Once you reach the Black Marsh, find the waypoint, locate the Forgotten Tower, go all the way down and start farming the Countess. To farm her, go all the way down to level 5, kill the Countess, pick up her drops, which should be at least 1 rune, then leave game, load back in, waypoint to the zone, find the tower, repeat until you've collected the following runes. 1 Tal rune and 1 Eth rune. Hold on to these for a rune word later. Now every time you return to town, check Charcy the Blacksmith for a non-magic body armor with 2 sockets, a non-magic helmet with 2 sockets, and any hunter's bow with either 2 or 3 sockets. Whenever you find these, purchase them, stash them for now. At level 11, put 1 point into the bow skill Multiple Shot, and then from levels 12 to 13 into Exploding Arrow. For your attributes at level 12, put 3 points into Dexterity and 2 into Strength. And then at level 13, put 5 points into Strength. We need to reach some prerequisites here. At this point, you're going to have 27 Strength. This is enough to equip Studded Leather to use as a base for the Stealth rune word. If, however, you don't want to go for the Studded Leather, it's not that big of a deal. You can forego putting those 2 points into Strength. In that case, you put them into Vitality instead, but that Studded Leather looks pretty cool. And it's just 2 points after all. Then once you've unlocked Exploding Arrow, it's time to go Boazon. Put your best rubies in an ideally 3-socketed Hunter's Bow. But leave 1 socket open. So if you have only 2 sockets, then again, leave 1 socket open. Exploding Arrow, as the name suggests, explodes on a target dealing area damage. And the fire damage of the explosion actually gets increased by fire damage on items. That's why we wanted rubies. Rubies in a socket add fire damage to your weapon, and that buffs your Exploding Arrow. And the reason you're leaving 1 socket open is so that when you finish Act 1, once you kill Andariel, you pray to the RNG deities that she's going to drop a nice big ruby. Once she's dead, fill up that empty socket with the best ruby you have. At that point, you're going to actually alternate between using Exploding Arrow and Poison Javelin. Keep Poison Javelin in your secondary weapon swap until the end of Act 1. Once you hit Act 2 though, you're dropping Poison Javelin altogether. Just stick with the bow at that point. As soon as you get into Act 2, go to Farah and shop for a belt so that you can hold more potions. Also, check Drogonin to see if he's selling any 2-socket non-magic bone shields. If he has a shield now, buy it now, and leave it in your stash for later for a rune word. If he doesn't now, then you'll have to find one by the time you need it later on. It won't be for a while though, so it's not pressing. Then from levels 14 to 16, put all your points into Energy, and then back into Vitality all the way until level 38. For your skill points, until level 38, put all your points into Exploding Arrow, and any extra skill points you get from quest rewards into Fire Arrow, which gives a nice damage bonus to Exploding Arrow. Once you hit level 17, create your Stealth Runeword armor. If you haven't yet gotten a 2-socket non-magic body armor, then go visit Charcy in Act 1 and check her inventory, shop for one. If she doesn't have it, refresh her inventory by leaving town and returning, and keep doing that until she has one. Buy it, then insert the Tal and Eth runes, in that order, to create the Stealth Runeword. You're going to keep this item all the way through Hell difficulty. It gives you faster run walk speed, faster hit recovery, some mana regen, and more. Once you reach Act 4, go back to Act 2 and hire a mercenary from Graze. Doesn't matter which one. Then return to Act 4 and go visit Halbu and buy a pike. Give that pike to your mercenary. You need this mercenary to deal with 2 fire immunes that you're going to be encountering soon. One is the Grand Vizier of Chaos in Act 4 Chaos Sanctuary, once you open one of the seals, and the other is Kalenzo on Wave 1 in Baal's Throne Room. Once you reach level 20, go to Act 3 and shop for a Staff of Teleportation. You're going to get this from Ormus. A Staff of Teleportation contains charges of the sorceress's skill Teleport, i.e. the best skill in Diablo 2. It lets you teleport past physical barriers. You will only be able to use it once you reach level 24, however. But we're shopping for it before level 24, so that when we are shopping, we only have to look at items with a red background. Red because we cannot equip it yet. Once you can wield it, equip it in your weapon swap, and swap to it when you need to. After you defeat Baal on normal, you want to run the secret cow level just to get XP to level up until level 25. There's no gear goals here, no crystal sword for a spirit rune word here. But if you try to progress into Nightmare before you're level 25, you're just not going to get much XP. To run the cow level, you need to go to the Stonyfield waypoint in Act 1. Locate the Cairnstones, the portal to Tristram, go through, go all the way to the west, click on Wirt's body, pick up his leg. Go back to town, put that leg in your Haradra cube, put a town portal in there, hit transmute, and it opens a portal to the cow level. And you can repeat this at will. Once you enter Nightmare difficulty, shop for gloves that grant you attack speed at Charcy, a belt that grants resistance and life, and boots that grant faster run walk and resistance. So once you're 25 and you're progressing into Nightmare, once you reach the Countess, farm Nightmare Countess for the following runes. 1 Shale, 1 Eth, 1 Ort, and 1 Soul. However, whenever you hit level 29, stop whatever you're doing. Go back to normal difficulty, Act 5, go shop at Anya, and buy 2 to 3 stacks of Javelins of Swiftness. These are javelins with plus 30% increased attack speed on them. You want this for later. Between your gloves and your javelin, you're going to want to achieve 50% increased attack speed later on when we respec. So once that's purchased, you can resume either doing the Countess or wherever you may be. Once you have the Ort and Soul runes, shop for a 2-socket non-magic helm at Charcy in Act 1. Then insert them, Ort and Soul, to create the Lore rune word to gain +1 to all skills, 30% lightning resist, and +2 to mana after each kill, which really adds up. You'll be able to keep Lore until endgame. Then once you're level 29 and have the Shale and Eth runes, make the Rime Shield rune word. If you have not yet gotten that 2-socket bone shield, now you gotta shop for it. Then insert Shale and Eth in that order to gain a shield that's going to give you faster block rate, increased chance of blocking, mana regen, +25 to all resistance, 25% magic find, and, very important, cannot be frozen. Again, put this into your stash for now. We're wielding a bow, we can't wield a shield, but for when we go Javazon, we're going to need it. Then sometime between levels 30 and 35, shop for a Wand of Lower Resistance at either Akara in Act 1 or Drognin in Act 2. This is to benefit once again from that red background trick. Keep the wand in your inventory, and starting at level 36, you can start using it, and you'll want to use it on pretty much any boss you face. Casting Lower Resist will make you deal more damage with your exploding arrow. But then by the time you reach Act 4 Nightmare, that's when it's time to respec. There's just too many fire immunes at this point. However, don't respec before level 38. So if you've somehow reached Act 4 Nightmare before level 38, then just farm XP until you reach 38. If you are level 38 and have not yet reached Nightmare Act 4, then just keep putting points into Fire Arrow until you reach Nightmare Act 4. At that point, it's time to respec. Go visit Akara and ask for that respec. That's going to refund all your skill points, all your attribute points. Once you've respec'd, you're dropping your bow. Now equip the Javelin of Swiftness that you bought, and the Rime Shield that you made. Keep the Staff of Teleportation on your weapon swap, and change to it whenever you need that mobility. When you're reallocating those attribute points, just put enough points into strength to be able to equip your current gear. And then put enough points into dexterity to reach 50% chance to block. Keep checking your block chance. Look at the advanced tab on your stats after you put in a few points to make sure that you're reaching that 50%. Once you're at 50% block chance, put all excess points into vitality. Then every time you level up, check your block chance. If it has gone below 50%, put enough points into dex until it gets back to 50, and then excess into vitality. For your skill points, in the passive and magic tree, put 5 points into pierce, 1 point into dodge, 1 into avoid, and 1 into evade. In the javelin and spear tree, put 9 points into lightning fury and 19 into charged strike. As you continue to level up, max out your skills in the following order: lightning fury, charged strike, lightning bolt, and power strike. Your main damage skill now is lightning fury, which can quickly kill big groups of enemies. Charged strike is the skill you're going to use on single targets. Use it against bosses or leftover enemies after your lightning fury has killed most of a big pack. When you run into enemies that are particularly tanky or even immune to lightning damage, use your Wand of Lower Resist on them. Or if you can just skip them, teleport away. Once you reach level 44, shop for Gloves of Alacrity. These have 20% increased attack speed. Look for them at Charcy and Geed. These gloves have even more attack speed than the ones that you bought earlier. And you'll keep these for the rest of your leveling journey, because it's going to bring you to 50% increased attack speed. And if you're really lucky, they can spawn with plus to javelin and spear skills as well. Now, once you reach the Chaos Sanctuary in Act 4 Hell, you're going to run into one of the seal bosses that is immune to lightning. This is right before the Diablo fight. One of those seal bosses is always immune to lightning, and the other two have a chance to be. If you find yourself unable to break their lightning immunity with that Wand of Lower Resist, then unfortunately you're going to have to leave game and try again. You just got dealt a bad hand of cards, it's time to reshuffle, and hope that this time RNG favors you. Your biggest challenge, however, is actually going to be fighting the Ancients in Act 5. One of the Ancients, Madoc, is always immune to lightning. And even though you can break his lightning resistance with a Wand of Lower Resist, he will still have a lot of lightning resist. If any of the Ancients spawn with either Magic Resistant, Lightning Enchanted, or Spectral Hit, then it's best to use a Town Portal to reset the fight. Every time you use a Town Portal, all 3 Ancients reset, and once you re-trigger them, they will once again randomly get their properties. Now, before we finish here, we'll explore some gear options that, if you happen to find these items while leveling, or if you have farmed them on another character or you trade for them, these can be very helpful while leveling. If you have the Death's Hand Gloves and Death's Guard Sash, these 2 set pieces will give you 30% increased attack speed, plus 15% all resist, and cannot be frozen. With this, you can actually swap out your Rhyme Shield, since you already have cannot be frozen, and instead build an Ancient's Pledge rune word. To do that, take the Ral, Ort, and Tal runes that you would have gotten as a quest reward, and insert them into a 3-socket shield. This gives us a huge amount of resistance. As a trade-off though, you will lose a lot of block chance. And if you do, you don't want to keep dumping into dexterity to try to make up for it. You would lose too much vitality. Now you can use that death set up until level 75 and beyond. New in patch 2.4, you can upgrade set items. So just upgrade the sash by taking it, putting it in the cube, also putting a Tal rune, a Shale rune, and a Perfect Emerald. Hit Transmute, and now it is an upgraded sash with more slots for more potions. Don't do this before level 29, however, because you need to be level 29 to wear the upgraded version. If you happen to find a Ravenfrost ring, this is another source of cannot be frozen. Again, if you have this, you can swap out your Rhyme for an Ancient's Pledge. Hasuru's Iron Heel, common drop, gives faster run walk, fire resist. Similarly, Sandra's Rip Wrap, another common drop, huge amount of faster run walk on it. If you can get a Titan's Revenge Javelin, this is your best in slot weapon. You do need to sacrifice a lot of vitality though in order to reach the dexterity requirements to equip a Titan's Revenge. And you'd also lose the attack speed from the weapon that we previously recommended. And ideally you'll want to then get that attack speed on other gear pieces to make up for the loss. But Titan's Revenge is worth it. +2 to Javelin and Spear skills, +2 to Javelin skills. Massive, massive damage boost. And you get 30% faster run walk. Now instead of stealth armor, if you find Twitch Throw, you can use that as a source of attack speed. It also gives you 20% faster hit recovery and 25% increased chance of blocking. If you can get a Stone of Jordan ring, +1 to all skills, of course, that's amazing. Any amulet you get that adds to Amazon skills, excellent choice. Uniques here would be an Eye of Etlich that grants +1 to all skills. High Lord's Wrath also gives +1 to all skills and 20% increased attack speed. A cat's eye amulet could be a great option. 30% faster run walk, 20% increased attack speed. If you have the Cow King set, boots, chest, and helm, this grants 30% increased attack speed, which works really well when combined with 2 pieces of the Death set for a total of 60% increased attack speed. Lastly, a Razor Tail unique belt grants 33% pierce chance, as does the new rune word Wisdom, which is made by putting a Pull, If, and Eld rune into a 3-socket diadem. This chance to pierce really helps with Lightning Fury, because when an attack pierce, it continues to pass through one enemy to hit others behind it. Now lastly, you'll notice that we only briefly touched upon the Mercenary. This is because beyond normal difficulty, it is close to impossible to keep mercenaries alive during the leveling process, particularly now in patch 2.4, where the mercenary bug has been fixed. However, in another video, we're going to cover mid and late game options for gearing your mercenary. That'll be in a separate video coming in the future. Because that's going to wrap up this video, but do be sure to stay tuned for more guides. Be sure to check out the guides we've released, and especially the Diablo 2 Resurrected Beginner's Guide right here. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more Diablo content.